rainy Tuesday in the city of Lagos. Welcome to the conversation. I am Abimbola Bello.
Good morning and welcome to the show. I am Ajibola Ojeshola. Abimbola, is this the best time for anybody to rent an apartment?
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is the best time, at least to make an inspection. Even if you're not paying for a new accommodation, this is the best time, because this is when you will know whether or not the roof of that house is in the best condition. And anything you can weather during the rain, be sure that when the sun comes, it'll be perfect. But if you rent a new apartment when it is sunny, when the rain comes and there are holes, you start putting buckets when, places start leaking. But again, the rainy season, this is where some people would want to prefer the sunny season over the rainy season. No matter how hot it is, you can still go out, you can still do certain things. But when it is raining, you weigh your options.
Definitely.
You will look at the traffic, you look at the state of the road, you look at what to wear. This is not the best time to wear your leather shoes. This probably is the best time to go and bring out all the Crocs you've kept in your cupboard.
I can see some already in the studio.
I tell you. But again, we're grateful that, the rain has set in early this year, at least, if not for anything, for the sakes of the farmers, and for the sakes of those that will need the rain to plant, foodstuffs and everything. But again, we must be ready for all of the negatives of the rain, flooding, other attendant issues. But we do hope that, the rainy season will come with all its positive advantages. Hopefully, food should be cheaper this year.
Hopefully, that's if our farmers will also be able to go to their farms and, of course, do the needful
security issues. There's so many issues, but...
but which do you prefer, sunny or rainy season?
There's a Yoruba adage that says, "Entojo okpa, torun okpa, ebi lo ma pa." But again, like I said, I'm all weather. Again, and then judging from the kind of job, our job, it is all weather. But I'll say again, maybe the sunny season. It's just that you buy more water, you stay dehydrated, but you can still move to a large extent. But during the rain, where do you want to go?
For my skin, I prefer the rainy season compared to the sunny season.
For your skin.
I don't apply cream.
Oyinbo skin. Do you want us to banish you to where you're coming from? Anyway, let's go on with our conversation today. Let's take our news points this morning. Ajibola, let's start with you.
Okay, we are starting with an unfortunate story. 3 die as Warri Itakpe train derails. 3 passengers have died following derailment of a train on the Warri Itakpe train service on Monday. The Nigerian Railway Corporation confirmed the incident, saying emergency response teams and relevant authorities have been deployed to the scene to provide assistance to affected passengers and assess the situation. In a statement issued on Monday, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of NRC, Kayode Okwefa, said the corporation was closely monitoring development. According to this report, the Nigerian Railway Corporation, NRC, confirms that an incident involving Warri Itakpe train service occurred on Monday. Emergency response teams and relevant authorities are currently at the scene, attending to the situation and providing necessary assistance. Okwefa added that the corporation will provide further details as investigations and rescue efforts continue. The corporation is closely monitoring development, and a detailed statement will be issued as soon as more information become available. The cause of the derailment had yet to be officially disclosed as at the time of filing in this report. Meanwhile, the presidency, in a statement on its X handle, confirmed death of 3 passengers. It wrote, the Nigerian Railway Corporation has confirmed a serious train accident involving the Warri Itakpe train service at Agbo Delta State. Rescue and emergency response operations were immediately activated. All passengers on board have now been accounted for. Sadly, 3 fatalities have been confirmed as at the time of filing in this report. Relevant authorities continue to assess the full circumstances surrounding the incident, while support is being provided to affected passengers. The thoughts and prayers of all Nigerians are with the victims and their loved ones. So it was quite unfortunate. It happened yesterday in Warri Itakwe corridor of the Nigerian Railway Corporation. And here is the managing director of the NRC giving us detailed accounts of what happened yesterday. It's still sketchy anyway,
Exactly.
but unfortunately,
So I'm wondering,
three people lost their lives.
Yeah, so it seems they're also still investigating, so we'll probably just leave it there. But we commiserate with those that died during the incident. But at least while waiting reports of that incident, Nigerians also need to do better. There are times that, people go onto the railway, the rail lines, to pilfer these metals. At the end of the day, this is the outcome of such situation. Let's move on. The second story this morning. Terrorist den, 360 freed Borno captives recount starvation deaths. Residents of Ngoshe community in Goza local government area of Borno State who recently regained their freedom after spending 3 months in captivity have recounted their harrowing experiences in the hands of terrorists. In separate interviews with the Punch newspaper in Polka on Monday, the victims spoke about the harsh conditions they endured, including hunger, inadequate shelter, limited access to water, and the deaths of children while in captivity. The newspaper had reported about 360 victims were among the 416 residents, mostly women and children, abducted during a terrorist attack on Ngoshe on March 4, 2026. The victims said they survived largely on guinea corn throughout their stay in captivity. One of the freed captives, Halima Musa, said the women were responsible for preparing meals supplied by their captors. According to her, the captives slept on bare floors on a mountain and had limited access to water. She added that 6 children died during the period of captivity. Some of the victims alleged that 13 male teenagers were separated from the group shortly before their release and retained by the terrorists. Another freed captive, Khadijat, said there was no exchange of gunfire or visible military engagement during the process that led to their freedom. It is actually a long read, and sometimes when you read things like this, you can only imagine the kind of trauma that these individuals have gone through. And I think the best help that government can provide at this particular point in time will be just to rehabilitate, and ensure that they get access to mental care, so some of these things can be helped. Yes, these thoughts you might never be able to erase these thoughts, but you can help them to process these thoughts so that its negativity can be reduced when it comes to their thoughts.
I think it's better imagined than experienced. And going through the story that you read, sleeping on bare floor, on mountains,
I tell you,
without water,
it's
without
better
food for
imagined.
days. Hey,
It's better imagined.
well, we must give kudos to the Borno State government for at least rescuing these people alive.
Okay.
Okay, from those insecurity and the accidents on the Itakbe corridor, let's talk politics now. 2027, NDC strips Kwankwanso camp of tickets. A crisis is brewing in the Nigerian Democratic Congress, NDC, over the sharing formula between the old and new members in the Kano chapter of the party. Daily Trust gathered that there is an attempt to sideline those who recently joined the NDC alongside the leader of the Kwankwansia movement, Senator Rabiu Kwankwanso. It was gathered that at the initial stage, the old members expressed reservations about possible domination following Kwankwanso's entry into the party. However, both camps later agreed to a 60-40 sharing formula for executive positions and candidates, with Kwankwanso taking the larger share. The party then proceeded to elect its executives and candidates through consensus, with the leader of the Kwankwansia movement, Rabiu Kwankwanso, emerging as the vice presidential candidate of the party to run with Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, in 2023. However, almost 10 days after the party released the names of the candidates, complaints of marginalization from the old members resurfaced. They accused Kwankwansia movement of not respecting the formula during the selection process, thereby relegating the old members In response, 5 House of Reps seats and 7 State House of Assembly tickets were wrestled from Kwankwanso's nominees in favor of old members. A document signed by NDC chairman in Kano State, Usani Isa, an address to the party's national leader, Senator Siriaki Dixon, promised to intervene in the crisis rocking the party. So that's just it. It's neither here nor there for Robbie Kwankwanso. One trouble a day, another trouble the day after tomorrow. So I really did not know how NDC intend to wrestle power from the ruling party in 2027 with all this crisis.
Sometimes you weigh your options before leaving a party because at the end of the day, you might end up losing out totally. Let's move on to the final story this morning. FG to extend rail network to Lagos Airport, coming from the Minister of Aviation. Federal government has unveiled plans to extend the existing Lagos rail network to the domestic and international terminals of the Murtala Mohammed Airport, MMA Lagos. The government also said that despite the arrays of airports in the country, 67% of the total passenger traffic arrive or depart from Lagos Airport. Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development Festus Keyamo stated these on Monday in his remarks at the opening ceremony of Invest Lagos 3.0, powered by the Lagos State government, which was monitored by the Guardian newspaper. According to Keyamo, discussions were already underway between the ministry and the Lagos State government to commence the rail project into the airport. Absolutely, this is fantastic. World over, there's usually a seamless connection when there are rail systems, between the airport and the other side of town. So this collaboration from the Lagos State government and the federal government, will go a long way in bringing development into Lagos. When it will happen, we do not know, but at least, discussions will start, and hopefully this will be seen through. What matters most is the fact that there's a rail path already on that axis, talking about the red line. So all they just need to do is to find how, this can be incorporated into the airport. But we know that, collaboration is the new currency in town, and there's really nothing you cannot do without the power of collaboration.
Absolutely. Lagos is a lucky state, and that's why we have seen investment in infrastructure over the years, turning the fortunes of Lagos State around for good.
Right, that's the much we take on the opening segment of the program. We'll take a break. When we return, part 1 of our conversation will be here. And of course, we told you yesterday there's a summit going on in Lagos, the Invest Summit 3.0. What are the gains and the promises that this summit, of course, is offering to Lagos? We just talked about one of them. Our guest this morning will help us broaden, this horizon and see how far investment in Lagos will be more productive for the state. We'll be back after this break.